Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another video. Now, a lot of people ask me this question. You know, winter is a time, or cold weather is a time when the air outside is thick and they want fragrances to project because they want people to smell them. And it's a very valid request because if people can't smell you, they can't compliment you, and everybody likes a compliment, right? So this is a video dedicated towards that need. Room fillers, very strong. The problem with very strong fragrances are two. One, not all very strong fragrances smell very good, and number two, not all very strong fragrances will get you a compliment. So I've given it some thought, and I've come up with a list of fragrances which are not only good in terms of projection, but they also smell extremely sexy. So compliments guaranteed, right? And they're also very well made. This list is mostly, well, not mostly, only designers and budget fragrances. So let's start. I'll start with the fragrance which is very romantic. It has got notes of chocolate, rose, oud. It's a very, very fine fragrance, but it's a cheapie. And it's called Club de Nuit Intense for Women. Now this fragrance is a extremely strong fragrance. It's a room filler. Yeah, a couple of sprays, that's all. It should do you. I've done a full review. This has got rose patchouli mostly with chocolate. So patchouli is really, really proper, strong, deep, dense rose, jammy rose. Really, really strong. And this is basically an impersonation of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir, which is, the eternal favorite when it comes to dating situations. If you're in a dating situation, if you want to attract ladies when everything is normal, we're going into lockdown, by the way, in 2 days' time. Tomorrow midnight. I think it's going to really hurt. But anyways, hurt in terms of the economy. People are okay. The economy is going to really struggle. But anyways, once everything is normal and you're going out on a night out or your date, when you're going on a date, just go with 1 or 2 sprays and see the reaction. What the thing is, you don't want to overwhelm your date. If you're going clubbing, you can go 4 and you'll probably drown out everybody. This is a very strong fragrance. It doesn't cost a lot of money. If you're more interested, you can check out my full review. Fantastic room filler. Yeah, tremendous projection. So this list, has fragrances which have one thing guaranteed: projection, longevity as well, and that's a bonus. Sillage, that's a bonus as well. But the focus from my side is to give you fragrances that project a lot, right? Next one on the list is exactly that. It's a designer. It's a cheapy designer. It's actually so well made, and most important thing is it flows like water. It's very watery, and it's really, really projects a lot. I wouldn't say it's watery, it's fluidy, if you see what I mean, and it projects a lot. Watery means weak. This is fluidy. It flows like juicy, fruity fragrance. It is F Black by Ferragamo. Now, Ferragamo Homme F Black. I'll put the names in the description. Now this fragrance, I'm loving this fragrance. I've been wearing this fragrance for the past 2 days because it's got this really fantastic combination of notes. So when you first spray it, it smells like a synthetic fragrance and very generic fragrance because it's got that generic green apple smell with some floral notes and some pepper. Yeah, that's true. It's got pepper, green apple, and some floral sides to it. But what really, really is a killer is this fragrance has a very fine, authentic smelling labdanum. And labdanum is perfect for autumn, this sort of weather. And it smells so beautiful when the fragrance dries down. It's very alluring, warm, welcoming, and it also projects a lot and stays on your skin for a long, long time. This is a cheapie, but it's really well made and it's got tremendous performance. That's the thing. And when you have such a smell, which is not very, common. It's not very generic. Initially it's generic, but it doesn't smell generic when it dries down. Then you get compliments because you grab people's attention and their curiosity. It's one such fragrance. Really nice, heavy projection. Yeah. So watch the sprays if you're going to stay indoors. And I'll do a full review very soon. Next on my list is a vintage fragrance, but it doesn't smell dated. So if you like fragrances like Francesca Bianchi's fragrance, her fragrances are very dark, rich, dense, deep sort of a fragrance. It's basically a niche quality, but it costs very little money, and I'll do a full review very soon. It's a vintage. It is Youth Dew by Estee Lauder. And this fragrance is basically an amber fragrance because there are tons of ambery notes in this fragrance. It's also animalic. And you know, one misconception that exists in the fragcom is animalic means it smells like animal. No, it doesn't. Animalic means it smells of something that is a fluid. And most of the times that fluidity could be, body fluids. And the whole reason they're used in perfumery is to provide unprecedented depth and complexity to the fragrance. This is seriously complex fragrance, but if I have to summarize for the sake of this list, it's a very deep, rich amber. I'll do a full review. As I said, if you like fragrances like The Dark Side by Francesca Bianchi, I'm not saying this is a clone, or Francesca Bianchi's is not a clone, but it has that same depth, same family. Yeah. Another example I would like to give you is Armages. Armages have that kind of depth and complexity and richness of note. This fragrance has richness. It's really rich, and the projection is nuclear. It will last till the next day in terms of longevity. And projection is, if you go 2 or 3 sprays, I think you'll fill up the whole hall. Forget the room. So watch the spray. You have to have a little bit of an experienced nose to appreciate this fragrance. Otherwise, you'll just discard it as a dated fragrance, which it isn't. Having smelled so many fragrances, I can tell you this is not dated. But this is complex, multi-layered, and very sophisticated and elegant, sort of a classic French perfumery style fragrance. Yeah, very nice. Next on my list is a fragrance which is one of the best synthetic vetiver fragrances I've smelled. It is Terre de Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. This is synthetic vetiver. It has a lot of punch to it. It really, when you first spray it, it'll just fire away. And as I said, it's a room filler. I've done a full review. It's really pleasant. It turns very pleasant. It's got Sichuan pepper, which really isn't one of my favorite notes because it really overwhelms me. It's got a lot of isoe super, but it also has a very nice synthetic vetiver note along with geranium, which makes the fragrance very dazzly, sparkly kind of a fragrance. Really beautiful, modern, and as I said, with tremendous performance, serious projection. So watch the sprays. Great for office, great for daytime, autumn, probably winter as well, but autumn, mostly autumn. This is fantastic if you're craving a vetiver because you're bored of wearing the ouds and the roses and all that stuff, all the heavy stuff, amber. This is a fantastic daytime option for cold weather. Next one is an amber, but it's a bright amber. It's one of the finest fragrances in my collection. It is one of the most sort of recommended fragrance that I recommend to others, and one of the most complimented fragrances. Costume National Soul. I've done a full review of this one as well. Fantastic. This is a synthetic sort of a bright amber note, but it also has leather, oud, and many other aspects. But this fragrance is sexy, proper capital S sexy, and it projects a lot. And yeah, it's just one of those fragrances which is very modern, yet it uses the warmth of amber, and it's very radiant. Just love the fragrance. It's comforting and radiant at the same time, and it projects a lot, and it's it's just modern and beautiful. You will not be out of place wherever you want to wear this. Work, date, anything. Put any occasion to in front of this fragrance, and you're going to shine. It's beautiful. Next on my list is another fragrance which is a cheapie, and it's actually a niche quality fragrance. It belies belief that this fragrance can do so much for so little money. It is Hanae Mori HM EDP. Yeah, this fragrance, I've reviewed this fragrance. It's got absolutely everything in it. Tons of citrus, blackcurrant, lemon, florals, rose, and I think there's jasmine as well, and the jasmine is the strongest. Sweet jasmine. This is a sweet fragrance. It starts off sweet and very tangy, and in the dry down it brings in a fantastic musk, and probably oak moss as well. I can't remember exactly. This is a party goer's fragrance. You can also throw in work environment engagements as well if you go low on the sprays. But this is celebratory. It's very, very young and youthful and buzzing with energy, and it's tremendous performance. Next day, easy. In terms of longevity, in terms of projection, as I said, 2 to 4 sprays will fill up a room. So go 2 sprays, one under your shirt, one on your shirt, and see how it goes. Yeah, but projection, phenomenal. Price, very little. Value for money, extremely high. Amazing fragrance. Next on my list is a classy, posh fragrance. It's a Chanel, and I love this fragrance. This is absolutely stunning. It's Chanel Platinum Egoiste. This Platinum Egoiste is basically in the Egoiste family and couldn't be more different than Egoiste, the original Egoiste, which is more sandalwood. This is more lavender and vetiver. With this amazing metallic lipsticky vibe to it, this fragrance gets better and better the longer it stays on your skin. It smells absolutely stunning. In fact, I'm not wearing anything at the moment. Whoa. This fragrance, it's got a lot of galbanum as well. I just smelled galbanum. I'll do a full review very soon, but I've done a review of a fragrance which is very similar. Armaf Legacy. So this is very similar to this fragrance, but this is Chanel. So if you got a bit of spare cash, the Chanel quality. What a fragrance, man. I'm just speechless. Got to do a full review very soon. I don't know why I overspray, because I sprayed 3. 1 is enough. I don't know why I oversprayed, and now I can't hardly speak. 3 left. The last 3 are just sex bomb. They are just, the fragrance, when you smell it, you're basically inviting a lot of female attention. They are amazing. First one is a leather iris fragrance. Now when I say leather iris, you will think Dior. It isn't. It is Prada L'Homme Intense. This fragrance is nuclear strength. So watch the sprays. This is iris leather with powdery facets and ambery facets. Very sexy. They also, I think, are smelling a little bit of coffee-like smell. This is what happens when you smell something and you get different facets. Now, if I would have smelled just Prada L'Homme Intense, I wouldn't have smelled that coffee. It's a little smell of coffee, sort of roasted coffee. This is stunning. I've done a full review. You can check it out. This thing projects, performs, and it's very modern, chic, and sexy. This is very stylish, yeah, and a different take on sort of leather iris, and slightly more powdery and more soapy as well, because Prada is famous for using the soapy aspects of iris. They are amazing in creating soapy fragrances. Fantastic. Through any occasion. Very versatile, and very versatile to wear all around the year, just like Egoiste. This Egoiste Platinum. Wow. Next on my list is a Dior, and this time it is a Dior Parfum. Wow. This fragrance, slightly sweeter version of the Dior DNA. So iris and leather, lipsticky iris with oud, cardamom. This fragrance is hard to find in the US, and I do apologize to my viewers from the US because this is very difficult to get hold of. But I tell you what, if you ever get hold of it, you'll realize what an iteration to the Dior DNA this is. Absolutely fantastic. This is, as I said, one of the most sexiest fragrances in my collection, and it projects. So this just grabs attention. Done a full review, you can check it out. This is one of those fragrances with tremendous attitude. Yeah, wear it right, and you will make a lasting impression. Fantastic. In terms of projection, nuclear. Last on the list is a fragrance which is a fragrance that changed my opinion about rose. It's a rose-based fragrance. This fragrance converted me to being a rose hater to a rose lover. It is Dolce & Gabbana, the One Mysterious Nights. And I've done a full review of this one. This is the sexiest fragrance when you want to kill competition. There's no contest once you put this on. This is basically a rose, saffron, woods, and cardamom. All the Middle Eastern notes. This was released for the Middle Eastern market, but this is not Arabic. This has the elements. It's probably niche quality. This is a niche quality fragrance, but the biggest selling point of this fragrance is how addicting and how attractive this fragrance is. I got myself the biggest bottle, just like Prada. I got myself the biggest bottle I could get hold of, and never regretted wearing it. And I've worn, you can see, nearly half the bottle. It's one of those fragrances that really instantly cheers me up. A huge, compliment potential, huge mood uplifter, very attractive, sexy, beautiful, enthusiastic. You know, it's one of those fragrances where you wear this and you feel, yeah, I'm ready to go out. You can't do it nowadays, but soon you will be able to. And projection is, as I said, nuclear, serious projection. So these were the 10. I hope you find some of these useful, and I hope you enjoyed the review. If you do give it a like. Take care. Bye-bye.